Hello, welcome back to Golden News. The recent G7 summit saw a significant shift in global politics as leaders discussed measures to tackle rising tensions with Russia and China. In a bid to tighten Russia sanctions and reduce dependence on China, the G7 agreed on a series of actions that could have far-reaching consequences for the future of global trade. Leaders of the world's richest democracies acted on Friday to stiffen sanctions against Russia, while a draft communiqué to be issued after. Their talks in the Japanese city of Hiroshima stressed the need to reduce reliance on trade with China. The group of 7 leaders, to be joined this weekend by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, pledged to restrict any exports to Russia that could help President Vladimir Putin's invasion of his neighbor and to stop sanctions busting. Today's actions will further tighten the vice on Putin's ability to wage his barbaric invasion and will advance our global efforts to cut off Russian attempts to evade sanctions, U.S. Treasury Department Secretary Janet Yellen said in a statement accompanying a raft of new U.S. measures. A statement issued by G7 leaders said restrictions would cover exports of industrial machinery, tools and technology useful to Russia's war effort, while efforts would be pursued to limit Russian revenues from trade in metals and diamonds on China, which G7 powers increasingly see as a threat to economic security. They were to agree that its status as the world's second-largest economy necessitated efforts to foster cooperation. An early draft of the final communiqué seen by Reuters said, "Our policy approaches are not designed to harm China. We do not seek to thwart China's economic progress and development," noted the draft, which is still subject to change, calling for stable and constructive ties with Beijing. The draft nonetheless urged measures to reduce excessive dependencies in critical supply chains and counter malign practices in technology transfer and data disclosure. It reaffirmed the need for peace in the Taiwan Strait and urged China to press Russia to end aggression in Ukraine. The summit venue, Hiroshima, was destroyed by U.S. nuclear bombing 78 years ago that ended World War II. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, who represents Hiroshima in Japan's lower house of parliament, said he chose it for the global gathering to focus attention on arms control. Russia's threats of possible recourse to nuclear weapons, together with the nuclear programs of North Korea and Iran, have all added to concerns about proliferation. In the draft, G7 countries, among them nuclear-armed France, Britain and the United States, expressed their commitment to achieving a world without nuclear weapons through a realistic, pragmatic, and responsible approach.